I want to talk about our brother Carmelo Anthony, who the mainstream white media, along with white supremacist society, is trying to demonize and call him a stone cold killer, this, that, and the other. When the truth of the matter is, Arthur Metcalf was a white supremacist and a bully that thought he could go around saying and doing whatever the hell he very well pleased. Because if Austin Metcalf wouldn't took it upon himself to play police officer and engage our brother and say that he couldn't be under that tent and then call him the N word with the hard ER, then had the nerve, the gall, and the audacity to overstep his boundary in a huge major way of putting his hands on our brother and trying to take his personal belongings in the form of a bag. None of these events that unfolded would have actually unfolded the way they did. And at least our brother Carmelo Anthony, now on the other hand, he had the decency to forewarn this Austin Metcalf of what would happen if he oversteps that line and crosses that boundary. He laid his, boundaries out on the table and made them clear cut and precise. And once you lay your boundaries out and set, your boundaries down, and somebody decides to step over that line, they got to deal with the consequences and repercussions that go along with that. At least our brother Carmelo Anthony had the decency to forewarn. Now, Daniel Penny, on the other hand, his cowardly white supremacist behind choked out our brother Jordan Neely from behind. So, truth be told, he never knew what hit him. And our brother Jordan Neely didn't lay a hand on his soul. He was just shouting out because he's mentally challenged, hungry and cold, and dealing with the day-to-day life struggle. So he didn't deserve that. So why in the hell is it that, Daniel Penny is looked at as a hero, the savior, and what he did was justified? This is because we in the system of racism, white supremacy, and it goes back to those double standards, those racialized standards, I call them, that exist inside the so-called justice system between white people and black people. Because 9 times out of 10, black people are held to a different judging mechanism than white people. We're given harsher and tougher, penalties. We're given buku years, to where as though somebody from white society, 9 times out of 10, they get a slap on the wrist, and if they get any jail time, it's the bare minimum. And most times they just give them probation or something like. They really don't hold these white supremacists to no justice. They get to run amok around here. Because in the system of racism, white supremacy, they look out for and coddle and pamper their own. Also in the system of racism, white supremacy, it's designed to say whatever is white has got to be right, and whatever goes against that, it's got to be wrong. And I don't rock with that whole narrative, because the white mainstream media, along with white supremacist society, they work in conjunction with one another. They like to tell us who our black, heroes and villains get to be. And once we reject that narrative, like we doing now, in the case of our brother Carmelo Anthony, how we getting behind him in solidarity and unity, they don't like that because they want to dictate to black society who we rock with and don't rock with. They want us to throw black people up under the bus at the drop of a dime and disregard our own people, because when we disregard our own people, it makes it easier for white supremacist society to come in like vultures and attack. And I don't rock with that, whole narrative of whatever's white has got to be right. And because white supremacist society, they don't disregard their own people like that, and they for sure as hell, ain't going to disregard their own people for black people. And in a white supremacist society, they like to rock people to sleep, that it's all inclusive, everyone can make it, it's equality, it's fair and equal, everyone is given equal treatment, when it's just the opposite, because we got an unseen wicked hand of white supremacy, always at work and always at play, whether people know it or not. And in a white supremacist society, white people are given unearned, and unfair benefits. They given unfair advantages based off of race, whether they guilty or not. They looked out for, coddled, and pampered, and they got a system of racism, white supremacy that insulates them. But in closing, I want to say free our brother Carmelo Anthony. He acted in self-defense, and our brother actually had a GoFundMe page up. The white supremacists were working hard to get, everything, tore down, because they don't want us to support and come in unity with our people. They want us to disregard our people just because they say so. Damn that. But our brother has actually got a Give, Send, Go account up now, and the family has got behind him, the FBA family. He's raised thousands of dollars. So I love to see that, and I personally look forward to donating to this Give, Send, Go account of our brother. The first chance I get, I'm going to donate Friday to see to it that our brother got some money sitting in there for me. But yeah, in closing, I don't rock with the whole narrative of, what's right is right and, whatever goes against that is wrong, and Austin Metcalf ain't nothing more than a young white supremacist, and young white supremacists grow up to be old white supremacists. But free our brother Carmelo Anthony. Just my thoughts on the matter. Peace.